From WWL-TV, this is continuing coverage of the Hurricane Ida aftermath.
And we are speaking with more members of the Louisiana congressional delegation about the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. Freshman Congressman Troy Carter from Louisiana's 2nd Congressional District is with us now via Zoom. Congressman Carter, thank you for joining us. First of all, and I know you toured some of the state with the governor and have seen some of the destruction. You were on the ground yesterday, I believe in St. John or St. Charles Parish?
I actually covered the entire district from West Jefferson all the way up to Baton Rouge, all the river parishes in between. It's quite devastating to view from an aerial view and see the damage and the devastation throughout the state. And
one of the biggest complaints I'm hearing from people is, where's all the FEMA help? You know, when you see miles-long lines and hours wait for gas station, why couldn't gas trucks have been put into place and just gotten down here and help out, or generators to get stores up and running so people don't have to search for food?
You know, ordinarily, Eric, we would have a lot more time to prepare for a hurricane. As you know, as it leads up, we typically have time to study the various models to determine where it might go. We have a little bit of ramp-up time. Ida didn't give us that opportunity. It came a lot faster than anyone expected. So getting ready and getting those kind of provisions in place, we're challenged. We're working, I've been in communication with the White House, and they're working on having fuel trucks expedited into Louisiana to kind of ease that pain. But we know that it is an incredible strain on people right now. Well, we did know, and not to argue the point, but we did know a few days before that Ida was going to be a big one. The National Hurricane Center said it was likely going to be a Category 4. It was, in fact, a Category 4. And they knew that days in advance. I'm just wondering, are you happy with the FEMA response so far? No, well, I'm not happy about not having gasoline. I mean, no one could be possibly happy about any of the things that aren't perfect. Unfortunately, some things are kind of beyond your control. You've still got to get the fuel into Louisiana. So that has been about the challenge, as well as people were trying to get out of Louisiana. Listen, at the end of the day, making sure that we have power, making sure that people have fuel, it's easy enough to be angry about that, but it's also easy enough to recognize that sometimes things happen so fast that you have to work within the confines that you have. Yeah, and the other thing people are wondering is, why can't buses be brought in to help people who want to get out, because people who do want to leave are having a hard time finding a way to get out of this town or where any other parish. The problem with getting out right now is getting out and going where. The danger of, at this point, the reason I think the stay-at-home order now has been to stay in to be safe. They're down wires, there's still standing water. There are a lot of issues down trees that make leaving New Orleans right now challenging. So that's why the order has been to ask people to just stay put. We know it's hot, we know it's difficult, we know it's challenging, but the reality is many of those wires, although the transmission isn't going to your house, many of those wires that are down could be live, could be activated, which could obviously cause electrocution. There's still standing water in some areas. There's trees that make it impassable. It's responsible for us to make sure that those pathways are clear enough before we can mount the kind of exit that might be more appropriate. But then we also have to have somewhere for people to go. Yeah. With the pandemic and all the other issues, it really makes this whole hurricane season and this event that much more difficult. Dealing with a Hurricane 4, the largest that we've had since 1850, coupled with a resurgence of Delta variant and COVID, really makes for a unprecedented issue of difficulty to manage. And as far as the electrical problems, the workers who are out there are doing magnificent yeoman's work. They're working around the clock to try and get it going. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser said that even though it's a private company, why can't the federal government pour some money in, to help out, because eventually the cost of this is going to be borne by the customers. Well, let me tell you, at the end of the day, what I propose is that, You know, we know we have hurricanes every year. This isn't something new. Every year we have hurricanes, and we know that with climate change and the hotter it gets, the warmer the water gets, the more intense the hurricanes are. So we know next year we'll face this again, yet we keep putting good money after bad, putting our power lines back up above ground. Now, while we're going through an infrastructure discussion in Congress, I'm suggesting that while we're doing it, let's build back better instead of building back, doing the same mistakes over and over again.
All right, Troy.
Let's bury our lines underground and make sure that we don't have these issues going forward.
All right, that's got to be, I'm up against a hard out, so that's where we got to go. Thank you, Troy. We appreciate that.
Thank you.